Beautiful. Okay, so in this video, we're covering how to get clients without a dumb guarantee. And that is a guarantee or you don't pay, or I'll give you my left kidney and my right pinky toe. So as you can imagine right now, there's a lot of people in the market that will tell you things like, hey, you need to go ahead and use a or you don't pay guarantee, or just say some crazy bait and switch offer. Just say, yeah, I'll make you 10K. I'll make you 10K a day. I'll make you 100K a day. I'll make you 100K a minute, or you don't pay. And then basically by the time they get to the sales call, you kind of switch that and you say, oh, by the way, that guarantee is only valid if you X, Y, and Z, ABC, EDFG, etc. So don't do that. Here's what you want to do. When you're dealing with an offer, a lot of the times people think that the dream outcome is the thing that you really need to focus on. For example, hey, I'll add 100K. Hey, I'll add 300K. Hey, I'll add 400K or 500K. And you can see how this is just kind of a race to who can say a bigger number in a dumber way. So don't do that. What I suggest works better in 2024 is actually two things. Number one is something we've had great success with, is reframing the dream outcome and using a nightmare. So using a nightmare rather than a dream. So when you're using a nightmare, the benefit is that there's a lot of small nightmares. And what a small nightmare gives you the option of doing is looking at this risk bar. If you consider this a risk bar, going and saying to someone they're going to attain this crazy dream outcome is really just not, it's just not good, because they don't believe you. They don't believe you when they say, when you say you're going to go ahead and add $1 million to their business. And the problem is that even if you have a risk reversal, it's still very high risk to start. So if you say, hey, I'm going to go and add 300K to your business to someone that you've never met, or you say, I'm going to go and make XYZ for you to someone you've never met, the risk is already all the way up here. So your guarantee or your risk reversal has to bring them all the way down here to zero risk, or at least low risk, to get them to take action with you. So it's like you kind of leave yourself in strife, versus when you go with the nightmare approach, you can bring it down here and you can give them something much lower risk. So for example, hey, Mr. Ecom brand, I noticed that some ecom brands were dealing with some high CPAs at the moment, some high cost per acquisitions. Would we be able to give you 3 free creatives to see if we can lower your cost per acquisition? Where's the risk there? It's not even there. The risk is zero, or not zero because they have to spend money on ads to test them, but the risk is very low. And it's probably even lower than that, because once you make the creatives, they're going to know if they suck or not. So all of a sudden they have this level of risk when you're reaching out to them, because there's a lot of people in the market in 2024 and people can't really deal with risk that well, because they've been burned before at this stage. So if you have a look at someone who's at this stage of risk taking, they would have to have what I would call a massive problemo. So the only people that will take a risk like this is someone with a massive problemo. So someone whose business is failing, someone who makes like less than 20, 30K a month. They're not making a lot of money, and they're really going to be relying on you to save their business. And they say, oh, he's got a guarantee. Perfect. If this guy's got a guarantee, he's going to make me 300K. I need that extra money. I can take that risk. I need this. That's the frame that they're responding to these types of messages with. They're saying, I need this. This is a great idea that I should do this, because there's no risk. Oh, he brought me all the way back down here. I'm not going to spend any money. I'm not going to spend any money. No one's responding to that well. No real businesses respond to that sort of messaging well. They look at your message and they think, damn, which idiot has taught them how to do this? That's what they're thinking. But when you go ahead and say, hey, I've identified a specific problem that you're dealing with, and I can get you out of this nightmare, which is actually a dream. The dream becomes, I'll get you out of this nightmare, and I'll do it quickly, and I'll do it efficiently. And here's who I've done it for before. So I'll get you out of this nightmare. So getting out of the nightmare is the dream. I've done it before. You don't have to do anything, and it's free, and I'll do it quickly. That is the level of value that you need to bring to get people to respond to cold outreach messages and to get clients without a stupid guarantee, which I believe was down here. So how to get clients without a dumb guarantee? Solve specific problems and get people out of their nightmare scenario. And I remember at the start of this video, or closer to the start of this video, I said there were going to be two things that you could do. They're both center around solving nightmares. But the second one was going to be, obviously when you're looking at this, it was going to be, the second one was going to be, sorry, it's escaping, but the second one was going to be focusing more on perceived likelihood of achievement and effort and sacrifice. So what I mean by effort and sacrifice and perceived likelihood of achievement was, number one, you need to focus a lot more on case studies, and you need to focus a lot more on taking things off the plate of your ideal customers, and also time delay. Because here's the thing, when it comes to dream outcomes, any dumbass can come up with a dream outcome. Like literally any dumbass can come up with a dream outcome. You can just think, okay, here's an ideal customer. What's something they would like? Oh, well, they would like $1 million. They would like $1 million. Oh, okay, dream outcome, done. It doesn't really work that way. It doesn't really work that way. If you've done any sort of outreach, you'll know. So what does it mean to focus on perceived likelihood of achievement? Status. So not being needy when you reach out is really, really important. Case studies, really important. And also the sales argument. And what do I mean by the sales argument? I mean the reasons why someone should buy. And tying this back into the nightmare and the problems, having a really good sales argument means you can say something like, hey, I saw that XYZ was happening in your market, or problem was pretty frequent in your market. Would we be able to solve problem in the next 3 days for free? Because if you think about the effort and sacrifice are so low that you have to respond to that. You cannot say no to that. And the time delay is there too. So all of a sudden, the perceived likelihood of achievement becomes less relevant. So you want to look and think, where are the problems in my market that a lot of people resonate with? Because if we go over here, if you look at a stack of 100 of your ideal prospects, sorry, I'm just making sure this is in frame. If you look at a stack of 100 of your ideal prospects, there's going to be differing levels of resonance with different problems. So for example, my ideal prospects, a percentage of them can't get leads, a percentage of them can't monetize leads, and a percentage of them can't fulfill client work, a percentage of them can't focus, and a percentage of them can't convert cold traffic. So if I look at this and I'm thinking, what sales argument is going to make the most sense? Well, it's going to be the one that centers around the problem that the most people resonate with in the deepest way. So the problem that the most people resonate with in the deepest way. So the most painful problem that the most people deal with. Then I can make a really cool sales argument and I can say, hey, problem. Because what happens here is you start thinking of problems and solutions rather than dreams and guarantees and XYZ dollars. Because if you think about the stakes of a business, and if you think about who are my ideal customers, who do I want to work with, what are the types of companies that I want to resonate with, those types of companies, I guarantee you, are much, much, much more concerned with problems and solutions rather than adding an extra 50K or you don't pay, an extra 100K or you don't pay, or even an extra 200, 300, 400K or you don't pay. They're much, much, much more concerned with problems and solutions, like I said. So you want to engage in problem and solution games rather than revenue games, especially on the first touch. Especially on the first touch, because really the problem we're solving for here is converting cold traffic without a guarantee and without a crazy guarantee. Because we all know guarantees are they're a little bit out. They're not fully out, but they're a little bit out. You still can use guarantees in certain contexts, but what I'm really talking about here is the stupid guarantees. A guarantee that I would like is a guarantee like, hey, I'll solve a problem for you in the next 3 days, and if I don't solve it for you, I'll send you $100, or I'll buy you next DoorDash, or I'll buy you next steak dinner. Something that's a little bit lower stakes. Because even if you think about the dream outcomes that people use on cold outreach with these big, big claims, or you don't pay, or something like that, it's kind of like saying, hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, no, and this isn't crazy, but hey, I just met you. Do you want to have a wager for 100K? Do you want to bet 100K against me? And I'll put it up and we'll put it in escrow. It's like, well, no, I don't trust you. There's no introduction. It's like, hey, let's get married. No, let's go on a date first. Hey, let's do this massive wager. No, why don't we bet $10 first? So all of a sudden you get this foot in your door with a low risk thing. Then if we go down here, over here, what you can do is you can take them from unaware and not trusting you, and you can progress them towards money step by step by step, instead of just trying to go, hey, I'm going to try and go like this. And instead of actually doing that, you end up falling in the water and swimming with the fishes. So hopefully this was helpful. I know targeting problems and solutions, it might even be a little bit vague. When I talk about problems and solutions, why don't I give you some examples, just so you have some stuff to go off. With email marketing, which is an example that a lot of people use, problems include LTV, they include CPA, they include ad costs. What else? They include things like float, so ad cost and float. So for email marketing, you're talking about float because you can recoup more ad spend. And you can get more money without spending more on ads, things like that. That's a problem. If you look at something like a landing page, a problem might be CPAs again. When you're targeting e-commerce, a lot of them have the same problems. It's often cash flow, it's often inventory, it's often things like this, things of this nature. And if you're targeting different services, you can look at different things. The number one thing that I would say, the actionable item from this video, is if you want to find problems of your ideal customers, the number one way to do it is talk to them. Talk to your clients, talk to prospects, try and find real problems and see the things they resonate with, because you can only actually find them out from the ideal customers and not me on YouTube. I just can't tell you. So go and check those things out. Make sure you're aware of what your customer is going through and understand their problems, because a lot of this is predicated on your ability to understand them, because you can't do any of this if you don't understand your customer. So understand your customer, get into problems and solutions-based thinking, solve a low-risk problem for them that's low commitment, get your foot in the door when you're doing cold outreach or advertising or whatever it may be. Get your foot in the door, solve something painful for them, and then progress towards the sale from there. It's kind of a different thing to solve for the sale after that, but that is how you get clients without a dumb guarantee. Before I let you go, the theory behind this is that what the guarantee does is it increases the perceived likelihood of achievement. That's what the guarantee is meant to do. They're meant to think that it's going to work because you give them a guarantee. But truthfully, if you think about who you buy from the people you trust, not from the people who give you a guarantee. You don't buy from the people who give you a guarantee. You buy from the people you trust. So another way you can circumvent that, like I said, is by getting in the door with a problem and solution. Getting them to trust you. They see how you work. They see what you can do for them. They see the results you get them. Then, after you've done this stuff, you can progress to the higher risk, higher reward stuff after that. So I hope that makes sense. If this was interesting, check out the rest of the channel. I've got a bunch of free trainings available, in-depth stuff. It's not, get 8 hours of sleep type BS. It's in-depth stuff. It's B2B stuff. So check it out. Look forward to seeing you around the channel. Cheers.